round 2 of Cooking with DiverLaura. Yesterday I posted on Facebook about these great meatballs that I made, and everyone's like, what's your recipe? How do you make those? And so you know what? Today we're gonna make them. So the same recipe works for either a beef meatball, a pork meatball, a combo beef and pork meatball, or today what we're gonna do is chicken meatballs. These are my dad's favorite. Each of these are 1 pound. That's what I say is, like this is a pound of meat, You mix them 1 to 1 if you're gonna go with your burger and pork. So you're gonna need a few things. Your meat, obviously. A nice big bowl that's gonna allow you to kind of mash around and mix that. And then there's some ingredients. This is probably about half a teaspoon of salt, somewhere around 1/4 cup of milk or thereabouts. This is gonna moisten up the breadcrumbs. 2 eggs, basically 1 per pound of meat. And panko breadcrumbs. These are the best. I use these guys, or any of the Japanese breadcrumbs. They're a little bit bigger than the kind you get from Progresso. Or I'm sure you could make your own if you wanted, but I'm not that entertained by making breadcrumbs. The process is super easy, but one thing to not forget, which I almost forgot to do right now, is preheat your oven. I like it at 400 degrees. So your oven is preheating now. Another thing you'll definitely need if you like round meatballs and you're kind of lazy like me is your little ice cream melon baller scoopy thing here. This works great. Now, it works really good if you keep the meat off of the outside, and I also will use a slight layering of vegetable oil around the edge, and then the meatballs will just flop right out, you'll see here in a little bit. And finally, a nice big pan. This will be functional for basically 60 meatballs, which is what we're gonna make. It's a 1 tablespoon scoop, 2 pounds of meat, 60 meatballs. Coming at you. Let's get started. First, I'm gonna oil up my pan, and also the outside of my scoop. There we go. Well, this batch of meatballs is for me. I love these chicken meatballs. They're just the best snack in the evening. Or you can make them with marinara or an Alfredo sauce. Pretty much the sky's the limit. I'll have some more recipes on how I use them after we get done with making them. When I make meatballs for my dad, he likes them a little more chickeny flavor. He's got a flavor that he really likes, and so I'll actually use something like this, and I'll mix some chicken flavor in them, so now we've got double chicken flavor, and then I make them a little gravy with this as well. Our oven is heating up. Let's get started making the meatballs. Try not to leave the paper in there. Don't have to tell you that I actually washed my hands really good before doing this. I hope you assume that I did that. Now, I'm gonna take off my watch because I'm gonna mash this up. So, we've got 2 pounds of ground chicken breast. About a half teaspoon of salt. 1 cup, this is a half a cup of panko breadcrumbs per pound of meat. In it goes a little bit of milk or cream to moisten the breadcrumbs so they're not super dry. And finally, 2 eggs. Now, you can do this with fork or your hands. If I'm doing the chicken stuff, the chicken's softer. The chicken breast is pretty soft, so it's easy to do with a fork if you want to. But when you're doing meatballs with pork and ground beef, you'll actually really want to get in there with your hands and mash on it because you want to get this fully distributed. They do say don't overmix because I guess if you overmix, you're going to make them more doughy than meatballs, I guess. But we'll just get on with it. Now we work this stuff. You want to get it really well mixed in, completely mixed in. You can feel the breadcrumbs in there, so you actually want to feel what you're doing here. it's not just visual, it's actually also texture. So you feel the breadcrumbs getting mixed in with the chicken. Keep mixing till it's evenly distributed throughout, so the eggs are all mixed in, milk, everything. And then you start feeling it's a nice homogeneous mixture. When you slide your hands along it, you feel the breadcrumbs at evenly spaced intervals. And you can see, you get a good look at this, I'll move it closer. You can see it's got some good mixing going on there. All right. And now it's time to make meatballs. Really not that rough, huh? So I like to just sweep around and then boop. That helps them fall out. If I do that every time, every single meatball will be perfect. If I don't do that and I get meatballs all over, meat all over the back of the scoop, then they won't fall out very well. Got not quite 60 meatballs here, but we got a lot of meatballs and we're gonna throw them on into the oven and get them cooking. Oven is preheated 400 degrees and I'll cook them for between 20 and 22 minutes. I like them to have a little bit of brown, it's just so yummy. All right, we'll come back to that in a few minutes. All right, 22 minutes have passed and now it's time to pull our meatballs out of the oven. Oh yeah. Look at those beautiful meatballs. Just a little bit of brown starting there. Yum. Really want to break them up while they're still hot. Somehow they separate better while they're still warm. Nice and soft and fluffy. We have meatballs for the rest of the week, and I've taken some meatballs here with some marinara and some mozzarella, and I'm going to microwave that for about 4 minutes and just you wait to see how it looks. So here we are, chicken meatballs with marinara and shredded mozzarella cheese. Oh, I can't even tell you how good this smells, but I am gonna enjoy this dish. Thank you for tuning in, everybody. See you next time.